As runners, we face challenges all the time, but they're not always physical. Sometimes they're mental. Sometimes we got that little voice in our head telling us things like, "Hey, you're tired, you should stop," or "You're a cheater, you're walking, runners don't walk," or even, "You're not making any progress, you're never going to be able to run your race." So we all deal with this from time to time, but the good news is, just like we can train our body, we can train our minds. And today I'm going to help you do that. We're going to talk about some of the mental barriers with Run, Rock, Run, and I'm going to give you some help to conquer those barriers so you can run longer, stay motivated, and just have a happy running experience. So let's dive in. Now, mental barrier number one is the big one if you're doing Run, Rock, Run, and that is walking is cheating. Real runners don't walk. Well, as you've heard me say many times, that's nonsense. So if you've ever thought, I shouldn't walk, I should push through, you're not alone in thinking that. But here's the truth. Walking is not cheating, it's strategy. Let me give you a quote from Jeff Galloway. He's the former Olympian that developed Run, Rock, Run. Let me read it to you. Olympians take walk breaks. Ultramarathoners take walk breaks. Why? Because it helps conserve energy, reduce injury risk, and keep you running longer. So I want you to flip the script. Instead of thinking walking is cheating, I want you to think walking is strategy. It'll help you run longer, use less energy, and just have a lot more fun with your running world. And it might even help you run faster over the long haul. Now, the second mental barrier that afflicts people doing running, Run, Walk, Run, is the negative self-talk. And of course, you know as well as I do that applies to more than just running. That's the little voice in our head telling us kind of self-defeating kinds of things. You're like, "You're too slow. It's embarrassing. Don't walk. You're not a real runner." But you know what? Your voice is a liar. Negative self-talk can derail you quicker than anything else. So we need to do some things to counteract it. So one thing we can do is reframe the negative to the positive. Instead of thinking, "I'm too slow," think, "I am pacing for my success." Or, "Everyone's judging me," saying, "I'm out here doing the work and that's what matters." Or instead of thinking, "I should be better by now, I should have improved by now," think, "Every run is making me stronger." So you get to choose the story you tell about yourself. Why not make it one that's positive and not negative? Now, barrier number three is losing motivation. Motivation is something that can fluctuate. You get up today, you're really excited, you can't wait to get out there and run. A couple of days from now, you get up and you say, "Oh my gosh, there's no way I can run today. I'm just not feeling it." That happens to everybody, happens all the time. So what we want to do, instead of relying on motivation, we want to build habits. You should be using a training program or some kind of simple check sheet that you can use to check off your runs and set little mini goals. Like this week, I'm going to run 3 times, or this month, I'm going to run 9 times, whatever that is. And every time you do that, you check that off. That's a success. Pretty soon you'll build a habit of running. You go out there and you'll run 9 times a month or 3 times a week, whatever it is you want to do. And pretty soon you don't have to rely on motivation. Now, one thing to help with motivation, though, is to think about running with a running buddy or a running group. There's lots of running groups out there. You can join one. There you're surrounding yourself with a lot of like-minded people. Some of their enthusiasm and motivation can rub off on you and help you. But in the meantime, create a little check sheet, use a training app, and remember, every time you complete a run, that's a success, and you're building the habit of running. Have you ever dieted? I've dieted a lot of my life. I used to be much heavier than I am now. And here's the thing about dieting. If you weigh yourself every day, it gets very frustrating because you don't see a lot of change every day. Weigh yourself once a week or every 10 days. Then, if you're sticking with your diet, then you'll see some progress. Running's the same way. And another mental barrier is getting frustrated with slow progress. You're not going to see a change every time you go out and run. But you have to recognize that progress with running is not linear. Every time you run, you're not going to be a little faster. You're not going to be able to run a little longer, but you are making progress. But you're in it for the long haul. You're in it for the long game. And over time, if you keep up with your running, you will see progress. Just trust the process. You will see progress. But don't look at it in too narrow. Don't look at it after every run. Look at it after every week or every couple of weeks and monitor your progress. It's always good to have some metric you can track yourself with, whether it's the number of times you run or how long you run in time, how far you run in miles. I really wouldn't use pace too much because pace is influenced by, what the weather's like or what you're feeling like. But have some kind of metric you can track yourself, but look for changes over the long haul, not the short haul. Now, the last mental barrier is fear of what others may think, especially if you do Run, Walk, Run. You go out there and you walk, you think, well, people don't think I'm a runner. I'm cheating. I'm walking. I'm not really a runner. Or you maybe just don't think you look funny out there running. Or if you're like me, sometimes I skip during a warm-up. What are people going to think of a 70-year-old man out there skipping down the street? But let me tell you something. People aren't focused on you. They're not thinking about you. They don't care what you're doing. They care about what they're doing. They're focused on their story, not your story. So nobody's paying attention to you. Don't worry about what people think. They could care less what you're doing. Just remember, Run, Rock, Run is a proven method method, so you're training smart. You're doing the right thing. Just remember that. Now, the last thing I want to talk about in dealing with mental barriers is having your mental toolbox. You know, the toolbox has got tools in. Depending on what you're doing, you can go in and pull a tool and help you with that. You can have some mental toolboxes, a mental toolbox with 4 tools in it I want to talk about with you today. The first one is using power phrases when you talk to yourself, using words like powerful, strong, and steady. Those are words that convey positiveness, not negatives. Don't use words like slow and tired. Use positive words. And that kind of goes on with the second toolbox, and that's mantras. There's lots of mantras out there. For example, one more interval is a mantra. One that I like that also uses power words is I was telling myself, I'm a strong and powerful runner. I am a strong and powerful runner. That's positive, and I'm using power words. That's great to keep me going through some of the tough portions of my run. The third thing you can do in your toolbox are visualization, visual cues. Visualize yourself, finishing a race. Visualize yourself running with the right form. Athletes do that all the time. Olympic athletes do that all the time. You hear about gymnasts that'll go over their floor routine in their head. And when you do it in your head, you do it perfectly. Your form is perfect when you do it in your head. But by doing that visualization, that gives you the ability that if you are having a tough time, come back to that visualization to get you through that. And the last mental toolbox to help you are what you listen to. And I mean in your ears. If you listen to earbuds or earphones or something like that, what are you playing in there? A lot of people listen to podcasts or books. The good part about that is it's a distraction. It's things that distract you from maybe how you're feeling. So that's a positive. I'm more along the line of music. I like listening to music. In this case, I would suggest you get positive, uplifting music, something energizes you. Don't get slow songs, don't get sad songs, get positive, energetic songs. That'll help keep that blood going and that motivation going. So your brain can be your biggest ally, especially if you have these tools that you can pull out at any time to help you when the moment starts getting tough. Let's be real. Every runner has tough days, but when you train your mindset, those tough days won't stop you. They won't slow you down. You'll keep on running. So let me quickly review the 5 mental barriers. This is a quick refresher. One is walking is not cheating. Remember, walking is a strategy. It's very important. Number 2, reframe the negative self-talk. Use positive words, not negative words. Number 3, build habits, not motivation. Every time you do a run, check that off as a success. It's something you've accomplished, and you're building the habit of running. Number 4, remember, progress is slow. It's not linear. You're not going to make a progress after every run, but look at yourself for the long haul. And finally, number 5, forget about what others think. It's important what you think. Tell your story. Don't worry about other people's story. And finally, as a refresher, use those 4 mental toolbox tools I told you about to help get you through the tough times. Now, if you enjoyed this video, please scroll down and hit the like icon. And I'm so glad you're here today. If you'd like to keep getting hints and tips about running, please click that subscribe button also. Thank you so much again for being here. Stay strong, stay healthy, and happy running.